Rajim, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Bading Gambian call, bading UDP call, now bading Malam, Yunus Hydara, kay balbe kontro na tona jambun down la. Kay the politic was kay party politics, which is more complex because ndambangol mbadi ndambangol ngale ko nindambita nyin stage la dal. But things will be much easier because then we'll just go after the common enemy. Right now, our own brothers and sisters, walio benda mao letima. So ngaje mojama wediamu kaneko. Yunus was one of the troublemakers. Mobe fengo. One day I am fine with whatever is being said. Nganeko, this is an unprecedented time for my party because nanamang furanyin state to UDP la sanji tansabo menke Gambia la kuokono. Every time, every elections, we have the same leader, Mayor Uncle. We all honor and respect. Nobody dares to compete with. But this time, the ngaje diamobe come from different areas. Many uncle they think we should reevaluate our strategies and look for try alternatives, which is normal. But ngaje what the hams if I work model yellow candendela. Yes, alama alaya sona yanderek nga Tambenyan stage la na political kono and focus on the bigger picture because dolbela nafat nyembebe caring them nafatije. It's just that we have to have a conversation jibe mbe munekela puruka tabarono makabonde puru nga banku mutanga ke nga sambanin tilingola. So saying more Jamal Vijay Ibo Foka. But first of all, I say congratulations to UDP Seattle chapter for a well organized and successful event convention. That'll go just like Spain. I think it was a good opportunity again to meet my fellow party members, my party leaders, and everything. Enjoy the ambience. Yayo na ko bukana bunda ta restaurant na brothers all for coffee kona food okaru parere na. But I like traveling, so if I can travel for a good cause, that makes it even more worthy for me to put my resources, my time, my energy into it, because Cabrindro Dindima UDP was a party by default for us because the Wuluda Brikamale and Groda Brikamale na nable alamane maning kafarkala sa yo kunjang sa nenyolam aning mo Jamal Melvin Dalaje will be mo UDP led. So it's like a natural environment for us. Nga karte fa UDP le. So nga long kabindun that struggle okono, we were not very partisan. We focused more on Jame, Momo. The Fenko was yellow party equal landi focus, which is what we did. But still, I have that soft spot for UDP. The UDP la kuo wulda, I always defend UDP. Ni kabiya dabo muda, I was devastated. I was seriously campaigning to get Dabo released, and and that fast Njaga Choi Kabring fast Njaga Choi standoff. I was one of the first people. I hope Sundu Ture has that record, but I was one of the first people to send money to them through Sundu Ture. Kabring solo sandeng alama ne waning kafar kelai. Kabrung ya muta fata. That was a very crucial time for my academic time anyway, because I was about I was doing my honors project at Edinburgh. It was my final year. I was really busy, but I was on the radio talking. I organized a protest at the Scottish Parliament, and we were there. So we did all these efforts for Gambia in sympathy of UDP mainly. And yes, after that we had a coalition, and then I became a critic of the UDP because I wasn't happy with some of the things that I saw happened, which is my right. But after then, UDP bought a government. But somehow, whatever issues I had with the party was died down in me. I wasn't, occasionally comes, but nga brush under the carpet to focus on the bigger picture, to know this party is very committed, it is very loyal, and it's just that if we work together, I joined the party rather than criticizing it, we can do our little to influence the party towards perfection. Nothing's perfect, it's just a work in progress. And that's what I thought we should do. And that's what I did. I joined the party. I promote the party's agenda. I contribute. I donate to the party. I was part of the teams that look into the party's manifesto and discussed it. And, we all contributed, and we campaigned for Dabo in 2021. But true, I was one of those who came out later to say that we should look at an alternative candidate for 2026, because I think it's a very crucial time for the UDP, because many people will say, if we don't get it right this time, if we lose this election, the viability of UDP as a party form will be at stake. I don't want to see that, because UDP has always been part of our lives. We all love the party. The party, it's a source of normalcy, I would say, because can you imagine with all this excitement, these ambience, these arguments, that somehow, despite the negative side of them, contribute to make our lives more interesting, I would say. And I met the party officials in America. We had barbecues. Amazing people, really. I really got to get fond of most of them. And I was very honored that I have the privilege to be there with them and hang out with them. Lamin San and Katong were never but I met him there. He's absolutely decent and very nice person. Nakachara, Alaji Esdawo, Nate Nyolo, and others. Danjo, from Gatonye, and I liked it. I like it. I have nothing against any of these brothers, really. Nimomo Tambita at this stage. If the process went fair, that's whoever they choose, that's what we will support. I have nothing against anybody. I've made a choice on this issue, and I put my reasoning for it on many times, and though sometimes these get misconstrued, but I'm entitled to have a choice, just like everybody else is. I know Talib was fortunate because he had a portfolio where he can use to demonstrate his talent. He had 2 terms. He's been in our face as a mayor and working and delivering for the people. Many people loved him. And he, in that case, he also, so he gained re-election. That is a very important revalidation of his work. And, that election was directly between Talib and Barrow, because Barrow put every inch, every fiber of his being in that campaign to make sure they defeat Talib. but he defeated them. So that shows how strong the people love him. And, he's comported himself very well. He's objective. He's tribally neutral. I can say that. I think it's fair for me to say based on my own observation. And I think that's what the Gambia needs. Gambia needs someone who is focused, who is people-centered, who is loved, and people who would not put any Gambian above the other. And he remained very loyal to the party and the party leader. He showed nothing but respect and admiration for the party and its leadership. And people can see that clearly. Lamin Sane, I think he was OIC, but that was short-lived. He started well. I was following his regular press briefings and how he was doing. We liked him, and I appreciated it. And some of our councillors, I think these are the people are actually looking at. Some of them, they're not fortunate to be in the center of attention. They are governing local regions, where there's not much resources there, even though they're doing their utmost best to provide for the people. They don't have that much revenue to be able to do things. Youngs, I think he just came. It's just a few years. Obviously, he's doing very well, and I'm very impressed. I supported him. I endorsed him when he wants to run to this. I talked with him many times. But what I see is Talib is at a whole new level. And that is not to diminish anybody else's efforts. No. I can say there are others. Let's say, for example, Yunus Hydara. So if I promote Talib, that diminishes Yunus. That doesn't mean I should hate Talib. It's just that he's fortunate to be at a place that I wasn't able to be at. I wasn't fortunate to be a mayor and anything. So I just made my own assessments and I made my choice. I said, okay, I think Talib has a very good chance to win but defeat Barrow. Because I know the local dynamics. I did my own assessments. I came up with it. But some people also have their own candidate. And they are not happy. But let's just promote. Everybody promotes their candidate. At the end of the day, whoever wins, we will be being our support because it's one family. It's UDP. But Moldal, some go over here while you're carrying party many people are not happy with it. For me, I think it's part of democracy, and I don't see anything wrong with it. For us competing on ideas, selling our candidates. What I don't like is degrading each other. Kanyo Neng, Kanyo Kajafi, can you degrade, can you dehumanize like some people do. That's not what I like. I like us to keep it clean. And even some of Talib's social media, that's what I tell them. I tell them this is how my advice I have for you, and this is including myself. Alinkana morning, Alinkana more degrade, because that would make it harder put later after we pass this stage. Purungake killing. So, and then you can tell in everything that I say on social media, I wouldn't say you would say, I know some of the things I've said, people can say, interpret it as disrespectful to certain individuals, as the party leader and stuff, but that is interpretation. Interpretation varies from person to person. What you see as a disrespect may not be seen as a disrespect by someone else. So this is where mainly you can defend Kohan party leader, the fight contact of party leader Nyandaka Modo Sole. That alone, coming party leader Manyana from Putla forward. That means Kondenga party leader disrespect. I don't. That's not what I think, and I'll continue to speak my mind and the decency that I believe is right for my party. But then, like, those interpretative ways of seeing if someone disrespects someone. It doesn't matter much to me, because I don't think my country should be reduced to individuals and their respect. I'm sorry to say, but this is what I believe. I believe that Gambia is at a very crucial point where we have to be able to look at each other in the eyes and tell us exactly what we feel. Obviously, with respect, and respect, I will not deliberately disrespect, but I'll say what I think is right, and that's my democratic right. Nobody can take that from me. But anyway, that's not the point. Because this Nendil Kual, I'll keep it that way, but people can say what they want. It doesn't make any difference into how my stance on issues. And that is what we were saying last time we went to Sariang. I think that's the more recent issue. We went to Sariang. Sariang is someone I really like. I really love Sariang. And it's the first time we met. Me and Nana Maketa went there. I'm all teranga and everything. But I think he also, at some point, he came to see a very positive side of us and think, maybe people can judge Nyame is not the right way to judge them. I think they are very funny, interesting people that people need to see the other side of them. So I think in that way, they just suggested that we went live and we were having a very light conversation, Jelol. But I ended up mainly because there was no real substantive conversation about it. It was mainly about jokes and he didn't seem very comfortable. He kept saying as a monkey camera person, he is more of a writer. I think that the journalist that he is, he likes to write rather than facing the camera, and he was visibly uncomfortable with the live video. So that's why I didn't end up posting it. And then someone was saying, they were disrespecting the party leader, even though none of them was able to say exactly what we said that was disrespectful. But right now, people are very disrespect, especially when it has to do with the party leader. But that's the thing. If you are looking for it, you maybe find it, even if it's like a misconception, because that conversation was mainly about jokes and what we during the time of the struggle. I think the only way that I went to say something that could be controversial as the Gambian standard was to say, menul ka foko itole dabo kanule ani ya respect le. Iba puskan because iba puskan ne prior law because ya kanule ya respect. They don't really, based on my own opinion. I don't think they love the party leader because it up more love whilst you continue to loyal to him and pushing him to something. The outcome may not be good for him, because Nindawo Lota Amanna win. Gambians will have a negative opinion on Dabo. Our legacy will be tainted. But that's my observation. That may not be true. I think that was all that was said that you can say, I even mentioned the party leader. But to me, based on my own opinion, I don't think kasi wamu kasi. But now mga offend fana mbal bolo say kanne. And then also I blame some people. They are talking in private, but they don't have either the courage or something to say what they're saying private openly. Because I think when we are all honest publicly and talk about what we want, it will make this process easy, because everybody will know exactly where many people's thinking is. But as it is, so but I think Sariang Sariang was like, no, not everybody can talk. Some people are doing lobbying in the down low. Some people are doing this effort, but it's not right to judge people that way, which I also respect. But Saria Munakewa Kendall, I truly really love him, and it was nice to meet him. And Nanama is the same. We think alike. We're similar age, and we have a lot in common. And I truly love the brother, just like I love everybody, young UDP folks, like the folks I met at the convention. Natamas, Nyol, Pata PJ, Nyol. I look at these are actually the people who motivated me to join the UDP, because even when I was a critic of the UDP, I'm like, okay, these young emerging leaders in the party, I believe I have a lot in common with, and I can definitely work with these people. That includes young Kuba Davo, Youngs is my friend. So there's no regrets about anything. I don't have any regrets or anything that I've spent on the UDP. I will do it again and again, because it's a cause that I believe. I believe the party is very committed to the righteous cause of the country, and it's just that it's continue to be work in progress. We all have a role to play to perfect the party, to make sure it's completely aligned with the course that the country has to go to stay viable and to be prosperous. And that's what I'm doing. Okay, obviously sometimes emotions get high. You say something out of the heat of the moment and later regret it. And I think sometimes I wouldn't exonerate myself from this, but I know sometimes people provoke me, and even this Seattle convention, some people are trying to provoke me. They think, then they provoke, then I come out and say something that gives them the latitude to go after Talib and myself. But even that's what they're trying to do, but I ignore it, because I felt very positive from this Seattle convention afterwards. So I went there in peace. I spent a great time with folks, UDP members, and then I came back. I'm glad I'm here. I'm fine. I'm happy. Alhamdulillah. And they say, just because something happened after the Spanish convention, that means that's what was expected to happen this time also. But the scenarios were not the same. Spain, I went there with the same open mind and peaceful nature to go and enjoy. But that occasion was hijacked to be an anti-Talib campaign somehow. There was a lot of speeches that I didn't like. There was also provocative languages that happened both in public and private that kind of resulted in that kind of problems that the party faced afterwards. But never was my intention to go to Spain just to cause problem. That wasn't my intention at all. I said what I feel like. I think I'm completely aligned with where I want the party to go. I think it was what's in the party's long-term interest. And obviously, I have no power to impose a candidate on the UDP. I just speak my mind and allow other people to speak theirs. I've never admonished or attacked anybody for speaking their mind on this issue. Nobody can say it. And in their role, they may have other choices. I respect that. The only thing is we just have to compare and contrast and have an informed, decent conversations, because it's something that is part of a democratic culture. So, but but sometimes, like, I try to understand the thinking of my people, and I think the main issue here against my candidate, Talib, the main issue to me is that stands out from Nakachal with not at the convention. The convention, there was no conversation around this topic anyway. But based on coming observe social media in Mokadiam, they're simply reluctant to trust Talib because Baroe Menke. So iko Barrow e patio Jamfale, and they suspect that Talib may do similar thing. For me, it made me sad at one time. The fact that you have someone as part of you for as long as possible, and you have his mom, who has been there for the party since its inception, putting her money into the party, and all of a sudden you are looking at that person with distrust. I don't think that is right. Barrow, just because Barrow did that doesn't mean Talib is gonna do it. What does those two people have in common? You can't say anything that they've both been tested in terms of leadership. And even me, based on my own observation, I wouldn't say Barrow betrayed the UDP. I don't think that's how it worked out. Because Barrow, when he came in, he really gave the UDP respect. He put UDP in key positions, UDP members, government, local government and land, finance, foreign affairs, and I think interior. My party was there, but you can tell he was more affiliated to UDP at that time. So he stayed with the UDP, but the main issue is he then changed his mind. He will run for 2021 on the UDP ticket. That's what he wanted. But either the way he went on about that was undermining. But I think that's what happened. Idamaol Mankambeng on who will Dabo. Dabo did not show he wanted it at that time. But what we later see was he put himself forward and he became the flag bearer for 2021. So that showed he wanted it. So both Dabo and Barrow wanted it. That's when Ilawalio Natawald. Ilawalio Natawald, then Barrow Natata Fangwaye. It resulted in, bad blood between the two, and they started to mainly Barrow, every chance he has, he's degrading Dabo. And we all condemn that. But that kind of energized the boundaries of division, and it becomes like a very bad rivalry that kind of slowed down a lot of it caused Barrow to align with APRC, which came with a consequence of abandoning our transitional justice programs and stuff. So Gambia lost overall. It's very unfortunate. But Talib, this time is different. Even the circumstances are different. Because Talib is not, you wouldn't say, okay, then Talib get a leader to 2026. That means in 2031, and then Dabo was clash on who should be the leader for 2031. That won't happen. But I don't think, because I don't think Dabo will be interested to run again in 2031. But what Dabo will do is he will continue to have a significant influence on how Talib runs the country. I believe Talib has a lot of respect, and Obama have a lot of respect for Dabo. There's no way that they will go against Dabo's council when Talib is in government. I can't see that happening, because he is well grounded. He's very polite and very objective, and that's what I know, because I met him in this Fenko. I've gotten to know him a bit better, because in as much as I'm talking about Talib, the two of us really don't speak much over the phone. And when we talk about on the phone, it's usually not about anything Gambia, because generally I don't bring those kind of conversation up with someone that I respect. I believe if I'm going to talk to you about Gambia or talk to you about policy or ideas, I want to be with you. I want to meet you, because that shows how much weight that I give to that thought. So we don't talk about these things. And and Dabo is the same. Ndenga Dabo call on the phone is mainly ka kontong ka jibe abenyadile ka duaye. It's never beyond. I think the only time that I actually brought up idea to over the phone was when we had I owe money COVID time when money bought a Fencourt start. He was giving money bought to charity. I called him. Even that I didn't get him on the phone. Ibrahima Diba was the one who answered his call. Then Ibrahima call. I wanted to give an idea about Purabala initiative Sembo Dilala. When I was working with SFL on similar initiative, I suggested Puriata radio to phone in Moka call ka fen call Moka call and ka pledge on it. And SFL, that initiative made a lot of money to do when SFR did that. I think he went to member caring and he did it. So I suggested the same idea to Ibrahim. And I think Davo also later on went to member caring to make a program about it. And that people started calling and pledging and they sent money. But apart from that, even I had an idea one time when he came to London. I flew to London to meet him to discuss the idea. I don't believe in calling people Mayango. I put them on extremely high esteem to talk them about stuff. I don't know. It may be okay, but I don't feel comfortable about it. That's just me. So. But overall, man, mbemu killing all the mbela for the same thing, lala. La fa Gambia la nyato ta la patio la nyato ta mbela flower. So we focus on that. Obviously, it's a time Meyanko is unprecedented. This is the first time in our party's life that we are actually having this kind of disagreement. To me, it's not as bad as how we manage it as a people, as a party. That's the thing. The party is being tested. There are many reasonable people outside observing, listening and observing. They are mainly looking at the parties from a stage for significant evolution. There's time that some people are calling for transition of power. So the executive is being tested on how they manage this situation to make sure that the party is acting in line with the principle that it is founded on, the principle of democracy, the principle of openness and tolerance, and principle of inclusivity. Inclusivity is important. So people are judging. So we are clearly gonna define what UDP really is from now going forward. Everybody is watching. Everybody is seeing. We come from day. My personal advice is let's keep it clean. Let's stop degrading each other, because when we pass this stage, we will have to come together as one to fight the bigger picture. Right now, the direction the party takes can be good, can be fatal to the party. But I believe there's a lot of reasonable people in the party who will make sure that they steer the party towards the right direction. I know many of these people have sacrificed a lot for this party and for country and would not want to see that go in vain. So I like I said to covering Talib, Alaji Esda, and other executive members called me to talk to me about this. Well, I told them, and that's where I stand. I will rely on their judgment on this issue, because I believe they have the best of intentions, because they've given this party their all. So you wouldn't give something your all and then eventually throw it under the bus. I don't think that we would do that. So let's continue to debate based on civility and tolerance. There is a lot of things can get nasty. Some people would lie. Some people would even lie. Like this morning, I woke up to the biggest lie that I've ever heard in politics. Usually, if this is other people, many uncle melong kafanial teda ka for puruka mola character assassin. I don't mind them. I don't even listen to them. But na friend me uncle kam the childhood casino kam attire. Vejela what are the Yunus Nolia for people APRC like Yunus Walnut in Nigeria. Sako ka so se mona no UDP ko na family na mantara APRC NPP na family mantara NPP. I cannot think of anybody. Remember NPP until, like I said, we are default UDP. Papa Muna brother, I think he attempted to run for elections in 2021. It failed. I think he also went and aligned with Barrow. But he knows I wasn't happy with any of that. But, I am very tolerant. I believe in people to do what they feel is best. Basically, it doesn't matter what I think. What is important is we are brothers and nothing's going to change that. Dolwa can go, you do, Ika Jole, Pura UDP destabilize and stuff. Ani dol fongwa, I dol je biwo ka fogo ndagara Spain, America nyoldo, molle baro nyolle ka ojonte. Ndena baro nyolde ye kuobe katale puru ngata do ko kela mansa kundai. Especially kadre election 2021. Lungo menna van election declared go Barole winter as almost someone that the first thing I think Minister Fulanyom Bijela Melian called Purungata Baroe. But I don't think I made and I go Gambian or ya vote I'll just carry on. Okay. Alake Baro Gambian or ya Budubla Doko I'll work and Debijan. I'll just make sure you guys continue to do what is right for country. If not, I will be criticizing you. And that effort continued for as long as I remember. But there's nobody in that government that I talked to. And I've done Ismail as he said, well, I'm Tero Tinum Fonje. But then Ismail Amandia among coming to 5 years and then among no text left from Saboka. No. Then la fa diamola come in Tabam from Kumole, La fa do kuola, Tomimbita Barole. I don't tell Baro Namoto Kobalgula because I can polish Baro and make him look like saint. Just like the Kasongos are doing for my own benefit. But I'm very principled. I'm not greedy at all. I believe in my own efforts. I work hard. Nde taroma menzina fende osila nangolon. Obening alatema dal. But I don't need to prove myself to anybody here, and I've always been an open book to Gambians since I started joining our public discourse. Everybody knows my thought process. Everybody knows what values and principles that I espouse, and I've been consistently following that. I continue to develop myself through the academic corridors. I continue to work hard to create new challenges for myself and achieve them. I'm happy. To me, that's what's important. Money cannot buy happiness. You can go in Barrow's government and get whatever money or privilege you have. If you're not happy, it's meaningless. I'd rather be happy with my $10 than be unhappy with $1 million. Anyway. More Gamel expect now. That's not me. It's not my character. But I would just be jumping on situations just because I want a bit of attention or chasing clout or money or fame or whatever. That's not what I'm on this, man. The Wultanko Gambia. Nkana Gambia la kelola andun tonya donebe Gambia sambala andun tonya nyantaka fole. The truth shall set us free. And that's what I do. I know this will be Mojamate Agrilana. People will try to insult, character assassinate. But Marlon, like I said before, day before covering Mfunidang Kongana Gambia Kelol. The first thing I did was to Kambalo transform into iron. Ne kulungo. Fente nga make sure fenka nandimi. And that's why, because Niko Fembe Dimila, the Molko a hebrek, abe dunela. Either you cannot speak your mind. That's something you will never be able to do. You have to make sure you have that thick skin. And I worked on that, and I've got it. I don't give a damn what anybody think or say about me. I continue to focus on what I believe in. What I believe is in the best interest of Gambia. And that's what's always guided my advocacy. Then at the end of the day, history will judge all of us. This transient life that we're here, we're all gonna go eventually. And Momo, you decide how you wish to be remembered in the Gambian history. Allah baraka, diamoyo jamfandinta do wande. Fanyado.